Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 8 of the North American League of Legends Amateur Open. My name's Money Mudkip. I'm being joined here by Fozzie D Bear. We're going to be your casters for this first match of the week. We got Most Disbands NA going up against 40 Ounce Bounce. Most Disbands NA are a returning team to the Amateur Open. 40 Ounce Bounce are brand new, so let's see how they're going to get their first impression to the rest of the teams out there. Also for returning teams in this tournament, we are seeing Beach Kings Gaming as well as XMS Gaming and the Elite Crew. The Elite Crew were the Week 7 champions. They played down to a Game 3 last week, and they proved that they were the better team last week. So let's see how these two teams are going to play this out. We see a Zac and a Thresh band going down right away for Most Disbands NA, and a Leona and Master Yi for 40 Ounce Bounce.
I've being new to this tournament scene myself, I actually don't understand the Leona and Master Yi ban. The Zac and Thresh ban, on the other hand, makes sense. Those bans are seen in blind picks, draft picks, ranked picks, all elos. Just very strong champions, very global bans, and even speaking of global bans, Twisted Fate comes out.
Yeah, definitely. Master Yi brings a lot of pressure in the early game, but he's a terror in the late game. He scales very well with attack damage and attack speed, and he can pretty much just run all over teams if he's not taken care of early.
Yeah, but Master Yi's seen as a lot, from my experience with playing as Master Yi, he's really a solo queue god. He's god tier solo queue. And so that means if you were versus a team, with most teams nowadays running AoE, most teams running a lot of CC, Master Yi can get shut down easier, especially in a draft mode where you can pick against them. But if you're scared of them and you don't want to deal with them, or it could have just been, let's ban him because it goes against what our comp has. But we do see a Blitzcrank coming out, which is a great first pick as a support.
That's a good point that you bring that up, because this isn't solo queue. This is, teams are going to come together. They are going to have that communication. They are going to have their game plan set out, and if they really wanted to, they could shut down any lane with ease. So I like to always think of it as when we see high level solo queue players, when they're brought into a team scenario and they don't have that coordination, that can be pretty detrimental to the teams. And it just really goes to show how much that coordination, communication, all of those things can really play into a team's success.
Yeah, when you bring Elo into ranked fives, it's not so much becomes they're just, here's this Diamond 1 challenger team, they're just going to stomp this gold team. If the gold team has been together longer, if they have better communication, if they have better strategies, they're going to have an advantage. The only thing they're going to have less of advantage of is mechanical skills, which obviously are a part of it, but when you go into a fives, when you go into a team scenario, mechanics aren't everything if you don't have the team.
Yeah, exactly. We are seeing Blitzcrank being picked up for Most Disbands NA, as well as Shen and Nocturne or Nocturne's being hovered over right now, but they have that Shen locked in for, I believe, I'm not quite sure who's going to be playing that just yet, because they are a new team. But Shen, and if they do decide to go to the Nocturne, they will have a lot of global presence early on.
That's also, it scales a lot too. Nocturne's most likely going to kind of just farm till 6 in jungle. They just picked and they instantly locked Warwick and Jin Zhao. But let me talk about the Nocturne Shen real quick. That's a lot of dive potential with the Nocturne going in and Shen ulting Nocturne. You're already in their back line with just those two. It also gives you crazy map presence at level 6.
And I just got word for the team captain from Most Disbands NA. Unfortunately, we are going to have to remake the lobby because they weren't able to pick. There might have been a glitch for champion select, so we're going to get that right back underway in just a minute.
Okay, that makes sense, because
Alright, and it looks like we're back underway with this match. We got the lobby set up again. Both the teams are in here, and we are going to get back underway with Game 1 of Week 8 of the North American League of Legends Amateur Open. And we're going to get both of these teams to get their same bans. There was some problems with, I believe, the league client. They weren't able to pick, so we're going to go ahead and remake that for them. So right now the same,
Okay.
Zach and Leona going down.
Is it the same bands?
Yeah,
And then they had the same bands and picks whoever they locked in?
yeah. Up until I believe Jin Zhao and Warwick, they couldn't pick.
Those were okay.
Yeah, the client bugged on them. So we are going to see Morkel pick up that Blitzcrank. Yeah, Blitzcrank was the first pick for them.
And then they should have Shen Nocturne. But that makes sense because the Warwick and Zhao were literally picked and insta-locked in milliseconds.
Yeah.
It confused. I thought they were just hovering over and ready to pick.
So now I'm actually curious to see what most Disbands and A are going to go with their picks here. I'm not quite sure what these guys really like to run. They did unfortunately they didn't make it all the way the week they did. I believe it was week 6 they participated in. Weren't able to see too much of them. They are going to be hovering over that Ezreal right away for Stars Fortune. He's a new player to the team. We haven't seen him before. So we'll see what he's going to be playing for them this time around. And Ezreal can bring a lot to a team. I feel if
I'm trying to think here myself with what they're kind of go for. Blitz Ezreal isn't an uncommon lane. It's I would like to see they're just picking their bot lane, and I believe Jax will be going top, which is a good pick for Shen. He can out damage Shen, but the sustain is fairly good on Shen.
Yeah,
But
we are seeing Lulu and Ashe being locked in really quickly for 40-ounce bounce. I definitely think that these guys have done their homework and they know what they're doing. They got those picks right away. They did go through their bans pretty smoothly, so it does seem like these guys know what they're doing going up against most Disbands NA.
it looks like they're completely relying on Ashe and Lulu to have their own self peel. It's You have the dive with Shen Nocturne, and then you have Lulu Ashe. And one of the things with this was, I believe it was Nat Win and Aframu who first started to run Ashe Lulu when Lulu first came out, and it was for constant slow. Just you would be slowed down to where you almost can't move with the chain of slows they both bring out. So it's a really good lane. I think it's going to counter the Blitzcrank, and it's going to counter the Ezreal with the amount of CC they're going to bring out.
Yeah, definitely. If they're able to use the kiting potential of that lane to its fullest advantage, I think that they'll be able to do really strong against Blitzcrank, who is a melee champion. And if they're able to use those slows to where whoever's going to be on Blitzcrank, so he can't land those rocket grabs, it's going to be huge for the bot lane of 40-ounce bounce.
From what it looks like, I'm looking at 40 ounces bounce teams, and I'm just looking at a solid layout. Lots of mobility. They have a good back line. They have a good front line, and that Ahri's going to be a solid just middle, being able to transition very smoothly with their ultimate. And I'm looking over here at, I forget their blue team. I forget their name. I'm sorry. they kind of have an all-out, let's dive and just get in there and see what we can do. Or even if they manage to pull someone, they're going to have that damage to kill them. So very two different comps coming. One's a lot more basic, coming from 40-ounce bounce, where you have your kind of regular scene in a lot of pro scenes so far, and then you have this jumbled up, a lot of damage, a lot of just wombo combo team coming out from blue.
Yeah, taking a look at most Disbands NA's team comp right here, they're gonna be able to 100 to 0 someone on the team of 40-ounce bounce relatively quickly if they're able to land those key abilities. The Unstoppable Force from Malphite, the Cataclysm, as well as the Dragon Strike, and that Demacian Standard. If DX Gods on Jax is able to get into that back line, good a really good E, able to lock up 2 or 3 members, hopefully onto Jeffrey Ham, who's on Ashe, it could be huge, and it could be really bad for 40-ounce balance because they want to be able to use that Nocturne and that Shen combo to assassinate someone on the back lines of most Disbands NA, as well as that Ari being able to use that Spirit Rush to get around a team fight very efficiently, and the assassination potential on her is huge. If most Disbands NA are able to counteract that with the hard engages and they're going to be able to lock up the team of 40-ounce bounce, they could have some problems come team fights.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of who initiates first. It's this early game's pretty much going to decide who is going to win, because if you have most disbands get the early game, then you're not going to see 40-ounce bounce initiating versus a Malphite or a Jarvan. You're just going to see the Malphite coming from the side. Oh, Jarvan. Oh, Blitzcrank pull one, and it's just you're just going to see a lot of killing potential in that fight. But if 40-ounce bounce takes the lead, you have that Ash Arrow starting a fight. Nocturne sees that. He dives in. Shen's on top of him. Jarvan can't really shut down Ari. No one on that team can shut down Ari besides Jax. And you can't rely on one person to shut down someone who can kill all 5 of your teammates.
Yeah, especially
So,
yeah, especially since Ari is the main source of AP damage for 40-ounce bounce. Pretty much aside from that, most disbands and A are just gonna look to build a lot of armor here. And like you said, there's not really anyone who can lock down Ari. She's gonna be able to use that Spirit Rush to get around the map or the field in team fights, and hopefully able to pick off assassinations because that's what she looks to do.
yeah, their goal should be, their main concern, better yet, is let's shut down Ari. If you can get any source of, if you can make her blow her ult before the fight, that's a fight they can win. But I feel Ari's going to be the biggest concern with the lack of CC that most disbands has versus an entire mobile champ. That if they don't kill Ari, you're going to see Ari doing a lot of our P34S on Ari, doing a lot for the team, and you're going to see that this game because it's a perfect comp for that pick, in my
You know,
opinion.
something that I've actually neglected to notice, there's a Jax and a Malphite. So we could be seeing a Malphite
Oh
mid
my god.
or a Jax mid. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know which one is more likely here. I've seen it all, to be honest. I'm not quite sure which one of those. I'd assume Jax, because Malphites are more likely to build armor, but that's not to say that Aquarius is not going to build an AP Malphite. So we'll have to see where they're going to go at the beginning of this game here. I'm really quite interested.
You're completely right. Like that flew way over my head. I was expecting Malphite jungle with Jarvan mid, which is a lot more common, but I feel it's going to be the Malphite mid. He's one to go Chalice and he can go Spectral Cow early game and it doesn't really affect him. And that's going to give him magic resist, it's going to give him mana regen, and he's going to be able to, and already won't be able to hurt him that much early game. And he's just going to be able to farm up, and hopefully they can shut him down like that. But I feel like they're going to send Jax top, just where he can kind of duel it out with Shen and beat him top lane.
I'm really curious to see. How well the purple team, I believe that's 40-ounce bounce. I'm really curious to see how they're going to be able to come out in this first match. They are brand new to this tournament. We haven't seen anything of them yet. If they're able to get a good, get a good reputation for themselves early on, it could be huge, and they could definitely prove in this first match here that they're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I don't really know the history of most Disbands. If you can kind of refresh me up that a little bit, I'd love, because I mean, this is 40 ounces count. This is their first game in amateur tournament. How big of a win can this be for them?
For 40-ounce bounce, it could be pretty big. Most disbands NA
생존사의 협곡에 오신
were.
것을 환영합니다.
I'm not 100% sure where they placed in the tournament they did play in. I know that they played during the week 6 tournament, so where that was Nomad Gaming, and we are seeing some aggressive play right now from both teams. None of them know that they're in there right now. This could be a
The
very big level 1 fight. Oh, P34S. Oh, the ward goes down. The charm lands. The volley's going across. All skills are being used. Shadow Dash landing across 4 members. Ignite's ticking down on DX God right now. Exhaust being used onto Smooderquist. Layden getting dropped really low. He's going to be finished off right there by Morkel. DX God's going to be the next one to fall. Exhaust being used onto Morkel there. Oh, he's going to be able to flash right. The flash from Jeffrey. Going to be able to get that last hit onto Aquarius. And wow, what an explosive way to start off the Amateur Open.
I'm not sure if Shen was intentional at diving, but him sticking around
생성되었습니다.
made Disband stick around, allowing them to pick up 2 kills. So it was obviously worth it for 40-ounce bounce to stick around and get the fight, but it was a great play by Leylon, or Layton. I can't see his name, I'm sorry. Just to stick around, sacrifice himself, and now you have an Ashe with the kill, and you have your carries with the kill. And so Ashe is not going to be down when she goes back to lane with Ezreal, but it doesn't matter because we're seeing a lane swap anyways coming out from 40-ounce bounce.
Yeah, sending Jeffrey Ham and Big Sean up into that top lane, gonna be going against DX Gods on Jax right here. And to answer our question, we are seeing Aquarius going Malphite in that mid lane, so I'm gonna assume it's an AP Malphite because he did start the Doran's Ring, but he might just be going that for the early bonuses, and how cost efficient that all Doran's items really are. So we'll see how. I really want to pay attention to him in this match to see which route he decides to go.
Yeah, and I'm also looking around. You see a real lack of wards coming out so far. As Malphite had the assist, he had a chance to buy a ward for middle, but he decided not to, and that's going to let Ahri kind of feel more safe, and it's going to put Malphite more at a... He should be scared because Ahri was one of the people who got a kill early game.
Yeah, and people neglect sometimes, or often, that Malphite is mostly played in the top lane as a tank. And it's often not noticed how he is a very strong AP champion. Those seismic shards, as well as the unstoppable force, will deal a lot of damage if built around full AP items. And as well as the roam potential that can come out of that, that could be huge for most disbands NA if they're able to play that properly. And Shadow Dash laying out a Star Fortune, dude. He's gonna tank 2 tower shots. Oh, not quite gonna be able to pick up that kill for Layton. That would have been huge early on in the game, but nothing's gonna be coming out of that.
Sending Jarvan down to the 1v3 lane is fairly smart idea, but he should be helping out Ashe and Lulu. Ashe Lulu has a lot more push potential. They have a lot more wave clear than a Blitzcrank Ezreal will ever have, because they both have moves that can hit every single minion in the wave. And it's just going to clear, and they're going to get the tower. And I think the first tower is going to go to 40-ounce bounce if Jarvan doesn't help top out.
Yeah, that's a good point. We are seeing Smooderquist right now in that bottom lane, just giving Layton some support so he can try and farm up. And we see DX Gods going a bit aggressive here. Wow, he's actually able to do a decent amount of damage with that Empower. His W grants him extra damage on his next auto attack or leap strike, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we are seeing Peas landing that charm in the mid lane. There's they're gonna try and fight. That Ignite's ticking down, and the Aquarius here not gonna quite be able to land that Orb of Deception. And
It looks like she got a little bit of, there's hesitation. I think it maybe could have been a lag issue, but she had the Q up, and she kind of just stood there looking at him for a little bit. So it might have been a little mishappening going down mid.
yeah, that could definitely be some confidence right now for Peas in that mid lane. Because now he knows he is able to out-damage and out-trade Aquarius right now on Malphite. So he could definitely look to go a bit more aggressive, although he does have to be careful right now. Oh, and a Shadow Dash landing down that bottom lane. Star's Fortune gonna take 2 tower shots there. He does have that biscuit of rejuvenation. And the Rocket Grab landing onto Leighton here. He's getting dropped really low. Nope, not quite. The early game damage right now from Morkel on Ezreal isn't significant. They are going to have to get a lot of poke damage first before they're going to want to go all in on that.
Yeah, if they can land a pull, they can definitely just kind of get him away from tower and obviously out-trade him in damage, but Ezreal's out of mana. Blitzcrank has about enough mana for 1 pull before he's kind of just has to sit there and he's like, okay, I gotta wait for 100 more mana again. So the trade top, and now you're seeing Nocturne going top as well for a 3v2.
Yeah, right now we see both junglers sitting in that top lane, and if 40-ounce Bounds are able to get a lot of damage onto this turret, that could help their lead a bit. If they're able to grab that first top lane turret, and a Shadow Dash landing down in bottom lane, the Rocket Grab landing onto Leighton here. Morkel has clear range for those Mystic shots. But he's not going to be able to do anything. Aquarius getting dropped really low in that mid lane here. P's getting a lot of damage down there with that Orb of Deception, as well as the W, which is called Foxfire, which provides a lot of single target damage if all 3 are able to land. And DX God's going to engage here in that top lane. He's going to get dropped really low here. He's going to have to flash away from that one. And
it looks like Ari's going to come in to pick it up.
yeah, P's right here, gonna use that Foxfire as well as the Spirit Rush. Ali 1 dropped really low. The charge from that Spirit Rush wasn't able to pick up that kill. He's able to flash. He's gonna flash, use that last Spirit Rush. Great play there by P's and Leighton. He said, hey look, I'm gonna be diving onto this guy. Shen ult me now. And
there's the mobility, by the way, that we were talking about before you see Ari. She went from Tribush to all the way to the second tier tower with just Foxfire in ultimate in less than 10 seconds.
yeah, the roaming potential right now for P's on Ari is huge. And I honestly think it comes down to it for these mid laners who's going to be able to roam more. If Aquarius on Malphite is able to get lots of good roams with that unstoppable force, and he's going to be doing, a lot of damage because he is going to be opting for that AP build. If he's able to roam, get some high damage ganks, able to secure 1 or 2 kills early on, and then transition to Dragon, if any team's able to do that, it could be huge for them.
Yeah, and it's around that 8-minute mark where you see that first Dragon going down, and we don't have Stand United coming out from Shen though, so that this would be the chance where most Disbands would want to take Dragon when they know, hey, Shen's not going to be in this fight. We could try to do something because they're not that far behind at all.
Yeah, right now, Stand United is sitting on a 200-second cooldown. There's about 100 remaining till it's back up. And I definitely think that 40-ounce Bounds are gonna want to play a bit defensively. They could look to make some plays, but that Stand United will be huge. Leighton does have a teleport, though, if he wants to get into a fight. But the shield that comes out of Stand United can turn a fight around. And it looks like these teams are gonna look to go for Dragon.
We do have Enchanted Crystal Arrow down from Ashe. She just shot it at Blitz and missed. So that's on a 90-second cooldown. It would have been great. It would have been Dragon for them, but unfortunately, it was a far shot. It was one of those, we need to take this so we can make it big. But we have something going down mid right now, too.
Going down to Ali 1. He's getting dropped really low, but smooth. Looks like he's going to be the first one to fall. Aquarius picking up that kill. Great turnaround there by most Disbands NA. 40-ounce Balance wanted to make a play with that Paranoia. They wanted to catch out Ali 1 when he was taken down pretty low. And DX Gods up in that top lane taking a bit of damage here from Leighton. But as I was saying, they wanted to catch out a low health Ali 1, but it was a great play and great communication by most Disbands NA to turn that fight around and pick them up a kill for themselves.
It's a simple mistake when you play Nocturne. You think you can, you go with your ult, you're like, yeah, dude, I'm gonna do this fight, but you're still only 10 minutes in the game. He has no armor, he has no magic resist, and he has only 175 bonus health. So he's not that tanky, especially when you verse 3 people with high CC.
The Rocket Blast landed down into Star Fortune in that bottom lane. He's gonna use Flash to get over that wall there and get out of that safely.
Yeah, they're getting what they want here. The Blitzcrank, they just blew Lulu's Flash, which isn't the biggest a deal, but they're gonna try to take Dragon off of it, but they don't know it's pink.
Yeah, right.
So it could be risky.
And the Enchanted Crystal Arrow landing down right on the Star Fortune. Looks like Boreathon's gonna want to engage onto this Peas in that back line, shredding the entire enemy team of most Disbands NA.
Double kill.
And Jax got the Dragon for the team. That was actually a really good play by him. But there's the Ahri coming out with the most, and now he actually is the most dangerous person on that team with a needlessly large rod coming out, which I believe he's building into a Deathfire Grasp. So she should be able to melt anyone on that team.
Yeah, a Deathfire Grasp this early on for Peas would be huge. That would increase his burst damage and that assassination potential by quite a bit. And a Tron's gonna let down on Morkel here. The Shadow Dash not quite landing. That could have been really bad for Morkel.
Yeah, it's the thing, Ahri's the only person who does have damage though. That's the thing. So if Ahri can't really secure the kill, Shen would have hit that taunt. You would have saw Morcal die, obviously, because Ahri would be able to land some more stuff, but Ashe doesn't even have her IE yet. It's still an early game, and to be that far ahead as Ahri is a huge advantage.
Yeah, it could definitely prove to be a real terror for most Disbands NA, because Peas right now is sitting on 5-0-2, and let's check out his gold here real quick. He is sitting on 1750. He has 4,700 total right now, so he is really far ahead of his opposing mid laner, and he has the most gold in this game by at least. Oh no, I'm taking a look at Jeffrey right now. He's only 400 ahead of him, but he's about 1,000 ahead of anyone on the enemy team on most Disbands NA.
Yeah, Ashe is doing a fantastic job. Not only does Jeffrey have 30 more farm than Ezreal.
Paranoia landing in the bottom lane. Morkel's going to be the target of choice, and that wild growth being used onto Smuda. Jeffrey wants to keep going here. He's going to take quite a bit of tower shots. Oh, the help picks. The help picks was just enough to save Jeffrey right there.
That was a great dive. That was a great dive coming out from bot lane.
Yeah, P's going a bit aggressive onto Aquarius in mid lane. Unstoppable Force and Ignite is going to be able to pick him up a kill.
No, I actually missed that fight. I'm going to rewind a bit because I don't see how Peace could lose a duel with Malphite.
Yeah, if you take a look there, Peas did want to finish off that mid lane turret. He wanted to get his team that extra global gold. However, the wave clear of Aquarius and the attack speed slow was just too much for Peas to be able to finish off that tower and get away and hopefully secure him a kill. The mid tower did end up falling, but it was at the cost of his life and granting Aquarius that shutdown gold.
Yeah, it was going back and seeing it. It was a lot of Malphite was able to do a ground slam, was able to get off a seismic shard, which does around 300 damage, without Peas even doing any damage to him. And even then, when Peas was below half health, did he try to run away, and he actually failed to do a Spirit Rush over a wall, which ended up costing him his life. If he would have got it over, he would have lived. So
Enchanted Crystal Arrow landing in that bottom lane as well as that charm. Star Fortune getting dropped really low here. Are 40-ounce bounce? No, they're not going to look to go onto that. And a rocket grab just barely missing there. That could have been really bad for Jeffrey.
they do have the Nocturne down here. His Paranoia is up. I think we're going to see a dive. And we also have Ari's Spirit Rush is still up.
And we're seeing Star Fortune getting engaged on here. And Chris not quite able to pick up the kill. The Stand United being used onto him. The Shroud of Darkness being used. Trying to negate some damage. Deathfire Grasp was used onto Ali 1 there. Peas, he's going to use that Spirit Rush. Going to try to finish off a kill here. Not quite able to finish off Aquarius there. And everyone is going to escape out of that. And a teleport coming in from Leighton right now.
Yeah, it was actually a great play by Jax, because if Nocturne would have dove in thinking, hey, Shen's going to be right there with me, he would have been in for a big surprise, because Jax actually stopped Stand United from Shen coming in. So Nocturne only got the shield.
Yeah, we do see Big Sean right now picking up a kill onto Ali 1's Jarvan there. He was trying to get away from that engagement and hopefully pick up an execute or safely recall, but Big Sean decided to stay on him. Grab that gold as well as that red buff. So right now, I believe Big Sean does have, he has an Oracles on him right now. He's going to look to get his team the map control and the vision that they need, especially going into this mid game. If they're able to pick their fights, and if they're able to see the entire enemy team of most Disbands NA, they can definitely pick their fights a lot better with the enchanted. And we see the charm landing down onto Star Fortune, cutting me off right there. If they're able to use that enchanted crystal arrow as well as that Paranoia and the Stand United, they're able to catch out someone very efficiently.
Yeah, and for all of you out there who are trying to figure out what's the best time to get an Oracles on a support, it's around 15 minutes, because that Oracles on Big Sean is going to give him that next dragon. It's going to give him a lot of stuff, compared to Star Fortune, who doesn't have his Oracles yet, I believe.
Yeah, we just saw Enchanted Crystal Arrow used right there by Jeffrey, so that's a cooldown that's not going to be up for the next fight. And it looks like most Disbands NA here are going to want to go for this dragon. Try landing down on the Star Fortune. He's going to use that Spirit Rush to get away from that. And we could see a fight coming off here. And P's going a bit aggressive there. Cataclysm going out and smooth right there. And the Paranoia being used. I'm not quite sure who is using that on. But DX Gods is following down onto P's here. Aquarius is going to drop down to Jeffrey and Big Sean. DX Gods is going to be the next one to fall. Morkel's getting dropped really low. He's going to try to pick up a kill onto Smooth here. Or Smooth to Chris, rather. And is he... Oh, Jeffrey's going to try to get that volley. Not going to quite be able to land that. Big Sean does have the red buffs. He's going to be able to get those flow procs off. The Shadow Dash landing. And another kill being picked up for 40-ounce bounce.
That was a really good play by Peas. They knew that Shen didn't have Stand United. So when P saw an opportunity to make it a 4v4, he made it a 4v4, which was a great play. But like I said, Jax is the only person who's going to be able to shut Peas down. And when Peas didn't have Spirit Rush anymore, Jax just said, okay, you're mine. Jumped in, stunned her, just annihilated the damage.
Yeah, the Leap Strike from Jax right now, I'm going to check real quick. It's on a...
He's maxing it.
Yeah, it's on a 6-second cooldown. So every 6 seconds, he's able to get around those team fights. He's able to change targets if he likes to, or if he's getting kited, he can even just use that to get back on and get that damage down and hopefully be able to pick up a kill for himself. Right now, I'm taking a look at Peas. He does have that, what's that called? Deathfire Grasp. Forgot about that for a second. He does have that completed as well as a Seeker's Arm Guard, so he might be looking to go into his Zonias right away.
Yeah.
He was the focus of that last fight, so the Zonias could help a lot. Once he does start to get focused, if he's able to use that Zonia's Hourglass, get into that stasis for 2.5 seconds, he can't be attacked or targeted. That could give 40-ounce bounce time to reposition themselves to hopefully protect Pete so that he can still get his massive damage off.
And there's Dragon picked up by 40-ounce bounce. Now, with the junglers this game,
Enchanted
both
Crystal
kind
Arrow
of.
landing onto Morkel in that bottom lane. It's just going to expire right there. Morkel going to use that Arcane Shift to get away. He doesn't have Flash available. He doesn't barrier. P's coming in. The Cataclysm landing. And Morkel's going to pop that barrier. Not going to be enough though. Jeffrey's going to be able to pick up that kill. And that was all in all a great play by Jeffrey on Ashe. Using that Enchanted Crystal Arrow to catch off Morkel on Ezreal. And he was able to secure his team a kill.
Now Spirit Rush is still up by P's, and if Al 1 would have kept that Cataclysm up, he probably could have got it out of her.
Yeah, Charmlane down. He's going to use that Deathfire Grasp to try and finish off Star... Oh, the Spirit Rush, not quite. Paranoia being used there. Going to get on the Star Fortune right there. Smooth is going to take a bit of damage. Or Ali 1's going to have to use that Democracy Stamina and that Dragon Strike to get away. I believe it's called Dragon Strike. Hope I'm not wrong in that one. But Leighton taking quite a bit of damage. DX Gods is going to dive here. He's going to use that ultimate and just walk away from that one.
It is Dragon Strike, and there's the Jax dominating Shen from before. Jax, the strongest duelist in the game. He's very easy to get shut down though in a team fight because you have the slows coming out from Ashe and Lulu. So keeping him top and keeping him out of the team fights and just saying, hey, push when Shen comes down to help is a smart idea. And if they can get that top inhib, that gold lead's not going to mean much if your top lane's constantly pushing.
Seeing engagement at bottom here though. Ali 1. Oh, the Stand United being used on the Smooths. They want to be careful of that one. And they almost could have been really bad for 40-ounce bounce. Ali 1. Oh, we see DX Gods diving. The Wild Growth being used right here. He did pop Ignite onto the charm from DX Gods. Not the charm onto DX Gods. Rather, Peas is wow. He is playing an amazing Ahri right here.
He's doing a fantastic job. Jax ran in there thinking, hey, I can easily kill this Lulu, which he could have if Big Sean didn't have that exhaust. And when he popped the exhaust, you just took away Jax's mobility. And you're going to see Ahri charming him. And that's what's going to win the fight.
Especially since DX Gods on Jax right now goes with that Blade of the Ruin King finish. As well as his passive, which grants him a decent amount of attack speed if he's able to get those consecutive hits off. And an exhaust, I believe it's a 50% attack speed. Yeah, 50% attack speed, slow, and that can be huge for Jax. It's also a really strong spell to use against AD carries, but also attack reliant melee champions, Tryndamere, Jax, Master Yi, even Nocturne. It can be huge and it can shut them down, especially when they do dive onto your carry or pretty much anyone for that matter.
Yeah, I think it looks like he's going for a Triforce. And now Jax is one of my favorite champions to still get Triforce on. It gives him the move, it gives Sheen, it gives him attack speed slows, and it gives I'm trying to think, movement speed. But it looks like looks like they're looking for a fight mid, and they want to have DX Gods in the mid, which is it's not a move I'd make. I'd keep Jax top and try to get that inhibitor.
It looks like 40-ounce bounce rather is not sending Leighton on Shen to split push. Enchanted Crystal Arrow landing. Paranoia is being popped. Trying to use on Ali when he is going to be the first target for them. DX Gods and Morkel trying to kite back Ludicrous. Morkel is on Ezreal. And they're going to keep on pushing. And I think that was a 1-for-0 there coming out for 40-ounce bounce.
You do have Spirit Rush still up. You still have, that's about it. But when you have a 7-2 Ahri with Deathfire Grasp and another Rod, you don't need much else. So very good play. And Leighton didn't have Stand United up. So having him come mid in that time and getting that taunt off was a very smart play by 40-ounce bounce.
Yeah, I definitely think that if they do send Leighton the split push, and Star Fortune being taken out really low, the exhaust going down on the piece there, but that last Spirit Rush is going to be able to pick up a kill. As I was saying, if Leighton is sent to split push on Shen, it could hurt them, because right now DX God is a lot stronger than Leighton on Shen, so they could most Disbands NA could opt to send DX Gods to that top lane and shut down the split push. So it does seem like 40 ounce Bounce does want to keep Shen in that mid lane, because he's more used to them there. He's able to land that Shadow Dash right away when they need it. They aren't going to have that split push potential, but right now I don't really think that's what they need. They do have the advantage, and they're just going to look to keep on pressing that.
Yeah, if they were to send Leighton top, then you're going to send Jax top. Because you know the second Leighton uses a stand united in, Jax is going to be going for that inhib. So it's a very 40 ounce Bounce is playing this the best way they can for their team, which is really smart.
And we just saw Star Fortune actually stealing away the big Wraith there from Peas and Big Sean.
40 gold's a lot, you know? It's
Yeah,
and it
he's
looks
saying,
like they're
"Hey,
picking up a free
my
dragon."
Wraith. I'll use that rocket grab to secure anything for my team. Wraith kills. And another dragon going over to 40 ounce Bounce. I believe that's their second in the game. And a General's Crystal Arrow landing down. Paranoia being used. He's gonna go down on the Morkel there. And it looks like Aquarius is going to be the next target for 40 ounce Bounce. He's getting dropped really low. He's going to have to use that Unstoppable Force to get away from that one. And DX Gods wasn't there in that fight.
Yeah, it's just everything's going in the best way for 40 ounce Bounce. And I still believe like they shouldn't be, if you're going to send your Jax top, don't get caught, because they have that catch potential with an Ashe, with a Nocturne. Either one of those people could start a fight.
Yeah, right now we are seeing DX Gods. He's 1-5-1, 174 CS. He isn't to say ahead of anyone on the team of 40 ounce Bounce, but he is still really strong right now. He still does have potential to be able to lock up a team with that counter strike, that E, as well as shut down either Peas or Jeffrey at this, like, right now. However, if the match is drawn on, you know, I want to say 5-10 minutes longer, he could become useless if he's not able to pick up any more kills, or if he's not able to get the farm that he needs, or, you know, even some global gold coming out. So I definitely think right now that most Disbands NA should try to use DX Gods on Jax right now to his full potential.
If 40 ounce Bounce, if Jeffrey, he has 8 kills and he has the highest farm, he actually, I believe, has more gold now than, yeah, he has more gold now than Peas does. So the person he could have killed before, who only had part of an IE, is now the leading gold person on 40 ounce Bounce. And if that Lulu just sticks next to Ahri the entire time, and
Sean landing down onto DX Gods. He's getting down really low. Aquarius can use that Unstoppable Force to get in the middle of the fight there. And we are going to see the fear coming over Nocturne onto Aquarius there. But Big Sean is going to be the one standing at the beginning of the fight, taking a lot of damage. Paranoia being used right there. Cataclysm and DX Gods go down into Jeffrey. He's going to survive the Stand United and that help picks. Gonna be able to keep him alive. That was just 40 ounce Bounce right there saying, hey guys, we want to keep our 80 carry alive. So let's use all of our shields we have on him, and they were able to successfully do that. And it looks like 4 members of 40 ounce Bounce are gonna look to push.
Yeah, they really have the potential to win the game from this point out. They are going for an inhibitor, very smart move. They could have gone for Bear. There's a lot of things that they could have gone for. And it's a surrender either way with a 12k gold lead coming from 40 ounce Bounce.
Yeah,
very
so
well done.
We are seeing a surrender vote coming out. 40 ounce Bounce are going to pick up this win, and they'll be moving on to the upper bracket. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll get on with our next game. See you guys soon.